scary. You're like a werewolf, like a sheep version of a werewolf. Okay, sorry about probably the wind noise. I'm using the GoPro 8 because it keeps raining off and on at the moment, and this is a test for my Vango F10 tent in a yellow storm warning for rain. Okay, I've got my camping pitch for testing out my tent, F10 tent, in a yellow warning rainstorm. I have to say it's quite a bit windy as well, so I don't know how windy it's going to get. I believe it's going to go over 30 mph gusts, but that was the forecast for down the bottom of the hill. I'm not sure what it is from the top of the hill. And I'm going to tell you how old this tent is. It's a very well used tent. I've had it for years, so I'm going to tell you on the screen how old it is. Ba-ding! So this tent uses 10 pegs, and it's got 2 guide lines. Actually, I tell a lie. It's got these 2 side guide lines at the sides of the tent, and at the rear of the tent it's got 2 small guide lines. Now those guide lines at the back and the front are vital to keep the tent up, whereas these ones on the side are just optional if it's windy like it is now. So let's have a look inside the tent. Oh, by the way, one of the zips is broke, but there's 2 zips on here and one of them's still working okay. And considering the amount of years I've had this and use I've had out of it, it's done very well. It still keeps the midges out. So this is the bottom of the tent, or the top of the tent, depending which way you're sleeping around. I have the door this side. As I said, only one of the zips works on here at the moment, but it zips the door up fully, so there's no problem with midges or anything like that. These are tension cords. I don't know if you can pick that up on the video. There is some information about the tent at the bottom there. So these are pockets, folks. This is on the top of the tent, the ridge of the tent at the top, the very top. You got a pocket there and a pocket there, and these are the tension cords I'm on about, which you want to do up tight for when it's windy, so the tent's nice and rigid in the wind. Which what I do find with these is they keep coming loose, which is a bit of a pain. But to be honest, I've had this tent in over 30, probably heading up to 35 gusts. It's okay, but personally I wouldn't have it in gusts over that. I mean, it probably can handle it, but you're not going to get a very good sleep. I personally wouldn't want to be in it over 35 mph gusts, but I'm camping in some. I got some kind of wind protection here, and this is the other end of the tent. As you can see, there's a bit of a bathtub type bottom to this. It does handle the rain really well, actually, and we're going to find out tonight how well it does, even after all these years, because it's, as I say, I keep saying it's a yellow warning storm tonight, so we're going to give it this old tent a good test. Even though it's been through the mills, it's still standing up for hiking adventures. I'll still take it on a long distance hiking trail. Okay, this is the mat I'm using, the Thermarest Ridge Rest. Had this for years as well. Nice thick mat I use when it's autumn and winter and spring. And now I'm getting all my gear together, putting in the tent. That's all my food and drinks. I've not brought a stove. I've not got a stove with me this time. Get the sleeping bag out. Got myself my autumn sleeping bag. You know, I can't remember what it's called, but the name of it's on here. This is the first time I've used it since what's it? Just come from summer, well, since spring really, early spring. It is a Vale Santis 800 synthetic sleeping bag. Very good it is too. And the reason why I'm using synthetic is because if it gets damp, it doesn't lose any of its warmth like a down sleeping bag. It's more durable as well. It's better for long distance hikes, even though it's a little bit heavier than you could get with a down. It's just that, yeah, when you're on a long distance hike, and this country tends to be damp all year round, especially in autumn time, it tends to be really damp. Like down sleeping bags are not very good. That's why I can never understand why people wear down jackets while hiking. I mean, it's okay on a day hike if you're going to go back to a car or something, but if you're on a long distance hike, down jackets, I find it in this country, a damp country, like they're pretty useless. Unless you've got really seriously cold weather well below zero, then they're some use, but most of the time it's not like that on a lot of hikes here, especially in England and southern Britain. Yeah, there is a fire pit here, but I'm not going to be having a fire tonight. Sometimes when we come here we do have fires, but I'm on my own tonight, so I'm not going to bother. But yeah, if I bring a friend, yeah, we'll have a fire here, but I'm not one for just sitting around the fire on my own, to be honest. So I'm going to get my tent ready and have some food. So this is what my Vale sleeping bag looks like inside the tent. Well, the wind's here and it is raining. It's not really heavy rain yet. Bear in mind I have got some kind of wind shelter here, which seems to be good wind shelter because the tent's hardly moving. Good job, I've got some wind protection here. Can you hear the sound of the wind? Must be hitting the tops of the trees. I'm about 300 metres up, high up, or just below 300 metres high up here. Look, the water's been hitting the door here, so the water must be bouncing up underneath the first layer and hitting the door, and it is it's damp. There's a few damp patches there, but in all at the moment it's not too bad. My sleeping bag's not getting wet or anything. As you can see, it stopped raining now some time ago. Everything's dry. It's not damp, but some water did get through, not onto the sleeping bag but onto this area and the front here. The water splashed all along here. The rain wasn't quite as heavy as I was suspecting. It's probably because I'm under the trees, but as you can hear, there's still wind. The geology of this area is so the wind is just hitting the tops of the trees really, so I'm not really getting the brunt of the wind here. But I think if I was, this tent would have seriously struggled last night, because I think it was over 40 mile per hour winds, I've checked on the watch, I am 240 metres up in a treed area. Good morning! Good morning to a very, very windy morning. Most of the wind, as I've said, is hitting the tops of the trees. I get some wind coming down here. I'm right on the edge of the woods, 250 metres up. The tent's up nice and sturdy. I think the wind, as I said, over 40 mph gusts last night at the tops of the trees. It got seriously windy. There was some heavy rain at times, but mostly it wasn't so heavy as I thought it was going to be. But the tent will hold up well. I think if it was like seriously heavy rain, I'd probably have a wet sleeping bag. Bear in mind, this is a fair few years old, this tent, and it's been used a hell of a lot. Okay, well, I'm going to get the tent down now. Well, that's me all packed away. All the rubbish picked up, rubbish bag there. As you can see, I don't know if you can see behind me, the sun is just rising. I've got the hills behind me, behind the trees there. So I'm going to get on my way now.